Welcome back to Above the Grain. I'm Aaron Moore, and on this channel you're going to learn tips, tricks, and techniques to refinish your furniture like a pro. On today's episode, we're going to be moving and delivering that large carved panel down to Laguna Beach and get this big boy mounted back on the wall. It's not something we do every day, so come along, let's get this thing loaded up and back in the truck, and hopefully we beat the rain out here in Southern California today and get it installed before that starts coming down. But take a look. What a beauty. I said our fingertips are going to hurt for about another month because of all the little sanding that we had to do on this thing. But it was definitely worth all of that hard work. I can't wait to like I said, see what the customer says and even just see it on a wall. It's really not that exciting here in the shop. In someone's home, it's going to take shape and finally get to be enjoyed by a homeowner. Okay, so what Ivan and I are going to do right now, we're going to wrap this up in plastic just to give us a barrier between the polyurethane and if it gets rained on at all. The poly is going to hold up to moisture, but it's more of I just want to be sure it doesn't get poured on with rain. I said a little bit of water isn't going to hurt. Yeah, a little bit of water is not going to hurt the poly, but if we could do something to just give us a little bit of a barrier, we should be pretty good. There we go. Let's go around it a few times. And we'll just make sure we overlap it a little bit. A lot of waste of plastic, but it's also, we did a lot of work to it, so I don't want to ruin, days upon days of work that we did. Perfect, I'll slide it out. All right, so we tilted it back up on the table so that way we could wrap the bottom, but I noticed that the top edge was still a little loose, so we're going to bring it back down real quick. Once Ivan gets that, the stretch wrap kind of pulled tight, it's getting a little low. We'll come back up here and wrap this top section, a few more passes. Same thing, we'll just let gravity do its thing. So we actually don't even have to lift it. Our assumption is that it probably weighs around 300 pounds. So we put a 400-pound mount on it, and we're going to use the original mounts that it came with. Yeah, we're going to use the same mounts that it came with. That way, it's just extra secured. All they had this screwed into was the the stucco, and it had like 4 toggle bolts and 2 L brackets. So, in my opinion, it really wasn't made to hold up well. Like, it really was not. I'm just folding this. Yeah, it was not made very too well, but it still never fell off the wall. But yeah, it was just shocking. It just had like 4 toggle bolts, and some gravity was just sitting on this large L bracket that we're going to reinstall, today. Beautiful. It's wrapped up. We'll see if the rain has kind of stopped, and then we'll get it loaded up. I can see it right now. It started back up again. So we'll wait a little bit. We're just kind of in between cells today. Give it another 15, 20 minutes. We'll come back, load it in the truck hopefully, and get down to Laguna Beach. Right now we're going to let a cell pass. It's still raining just a little bit outside. So in the meantime, we're going to sand the sealer on this American by Martinsville dresser until the sun kind of pops back out again. We didn't show you much on this yesterday. We didn't film actually. I don't know if you could tell, but we didn't film yesterday. So what we did, we stained it, got it in the spray booth, put about 6 to 8 coats of sealer on it. Now we're going to go through drawers, doors, and the cabinet. We're going to do the 320 with the sponge and get these all sanded smooth. So when we get back from Laguna Beach, I could do a few of the repairs, the touch-ups, get it back in the spray booth to coat it one more time. Therefore, tomorrow we can spray the final on it and get this thing out by Friday. Okay, we're just going to tag team this since we don't really want to get started on any other projects, since we're going to be loading up any minute now. So instead of sitting here watching paint dry, we're gonna sand some paint. Get it prepped so when we come back, there's more that we could do. Get stuff touched up back in the spray booth. Ivan's been working on a drop leaf table. If I remember showing you a couple weeks ago, it's the one that has 5 leaves, drop leaves, and then the table itself. It's a massive table. So we're just about done with the top of that one. That way, when the sun comes back out as well, we could bleach that. So if you want to learn how to bleach furniture, stay tuned to maybe today's video, more than likely tomorrow's video. As long as the sun comes back out, we could get that thing bleached. All right, we're back in Laguna. We just got the wall mounts up on, ready for that wall panel to get hung up. So we're gonna leave the camera running. We'll just get the whole shot with Ivan and I getting this lifted and hopefully mounted on the wall without it tipping down to the ground. So let's get it going. Yep. 1, 2, 3. There she is. All right, let me. Technically, I think we're gonna go my way, like ½ an inch, not even much. So we can. I mean, if we go pretty much straight there, we're pretty straight with the duct tape.
Yeah.
So now it's like now we got to kind of lift it.
Than we did earlier, or we could lift it and put it there. Then grab.
Theoretically, I think we bent down like this, and then just did like a squat.
So then we did earlier.
Yeah. All right. Let's try it.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh, I missed it.
Okay, put it back now.
Yep. I missed it.
Okay. Are you still good?
Huh?
You still good this way?
Let me check. Yeah, we're pretty much straight on. Yeah.
All right. Ready?
I don't know how we got it on the first time so easily.
3, 2, 1.
There it goes.
Are we?
No, we're not. We need to go your way just a little bit. We're on it. Yeah, we have the weight on it, but we need to go your way just a little bit. Okay. Oh, there it goes.
Just push it.
Trying to.
Push it and then. Oh.
There we go. Gonna need a little bit more. So if we go, this is center, we're about 1 inch off.
Gotcha.
No, because yeah, technically we have to lift it up.
A little bit.
Let's check it. Yeah, we're dead, right there. We're dead center there. So, okay, keep your hand on it. Let me get the screws and we'll attach it to the bottom again.
At least there's a video.
Exactly. There's a video here on YouTube. I might want to drill one more hole. Yeah, these ones are pre-drilled, but the one there was kind of in a weird spot. It was a hollow spot.
We're in the shim because of the.
Yeah, exactly. We're
split on. I mean, it's a little bit, but it's more this way than the other way. So.
Yeah. No, it's secured. Let me climb up there and see. Let's see.
How many did you put?
There's only 2, so that's only. I think it needs 1 in the middle. Okay, so I can't see that.
What are you trying to say?
I was just trying to see the mount. Not the shock mount, but.
It's impossible.
But you can't lift it up because it's screwed in. That's what I'm thinking. I think we need at least 1 more screw on the bottom.
Yeah, that's earthquake.
Yeah, that's all I'm like, because it's only like this one here is on a hollow spot. Because I mean, there's like a ½ inch gap, and then the piece started. So I think what we're gonna do, let me just pre-drill that and do 2 more screws. Or it'll pull it down. And yeah, I'm gonna put 2. Okay. hand me the screws. I'm gonna hand me the screws and the impact again, just so I don't have to get back up. Yeah, just 2 of those, and then I really feel confident that this is good. Let's see. Because now the bracket is secured to the unit. All right, now you can see that we have it mounted up on the wall. It's secure, sturdy, should hold up to the earthquakes here in California. But you know, come in, I'm gonna move out of the way. You can come and take a look at how nice it is here in person. As I said, I'll post some before and afters up on my social media, so stay tuned for that. We'll make a reel or something along those lines and show you what this looked like before. Dark gray, a bunch of sun bleaching, damage everywhere. Now, like I said, now it's coated in a really thick coat of polyurethane, sitting under this eave. I mean, the ocean is 100 feet behind you right now, if not less, 50 feet behind you. So it's really good that that polyurethane is going to hold up to the exposure being near the, near the salty air. So let's get cleaned up. We'll get loaded back, get to the shop, and get back to work on that American by Martinsville dresser. We made it back from Laguna Beach. There was some accident. There was a power pole that went down. Took us a little longer than expected, but now we got back. I've been touching up the drawers, which are behind the cabinet, and now we have the credenza, the case, to get touched up, which mainly is a big, large chip here on this corner, a few little spots on the front lip, on the front corners, a little bit of blending in there, and then we can throw it in the spray booth, make some toner, and then just tint it to richen it up a shade. Then we'll make sure that the drawers match the cabinet, and then the mirror, which came in secondarily, is a different type of wood. We're gonna actually have to stain that a different color with the toner, make it a little bit darker so it matches, and this all looks like one solid unit. So first, we gotta make up a little bit of that, that toner color. Let's do that right now. Let me get this situated. We're running a little lean too, realizing that we used up all of our lacquer thinner. So I have just a little bit left to finish up the day, so I can go over to Mohawk in the morning, pick up some, some materials. I said we thought we had more in the back room. Didn't check it too closely this week, and then realized we are out, completely out. So I got a little bit left in the gallon, but no more in the 5-gallon buckets. So we're gonna try to stretch it just to finish this little project up today. So I noticed, while we were working on it, this edge here had like a light spot. It's almost like where the, because this front lip here is usually a veneer, like just a little thin piece of face frame material. My guess is a little bit of that. When the edge got rounded, they passed a lot of the edges right here on this front lip. So we just kind of have to match it, add a little color back to it. Just like that, and then we'll seal it in. Steady hand today. Some days my hands do not want to go this fine. Today is not one of those days. I've been thinking about touching this up all day long since we were out there in Laguna. All I wanted to do is get back to finish this piece up so we can get it back to the customer on Friday. But what'd you guys think of that install? What'd you think of that big piece of wall art? Let me know down in the comments. Something Ivan and I are definitely proud of. We're happy that it's done. We're happy that it got hung. Now we just hope that it sits there for another 30 years without any issue. I don't see why not. We definitely over-engineered it from the way it was built in there before. Whoever put it in and installed it only installed the lower L bracket and 2 small L brackets on the top to hold it against the wall. We added a 400-pound, what do you want to call it? Like a picture wall art mount. So we just, I decided to update it a little bit, make it a little bit more earthquake safe. And one of the hesitations I had was that it was going back in the same location, but the homeowner, the contractors, they patched all of that stucco. So when we put a couple of those screws in, they just went right in. They fell right into the stucco. They didn't even grab. So we had to drill new holes and kind of move a little bit over. So that's why, like, I got to do something better than what was, you know, what was given to me, because just for that reason, I knew that it was not going to hold up. You know, just with the way it was installed. We were able to find some studs though, which is really hard to do. You know, with stucco. You know, we were able, we double checked, triple checked measurements. There were no studs in the locations we assumed there were. And then all of a sudden we drilled one in and there was a stud. So we were able to start from there, do a 16 inches on center, move it over, and then there'd be a stud there. But the funny thing was, we moved that to the lower cross member, the lower spacer, and measured it, leveled it, made sure we're in the same exact spot, and there was no studs at the lower section. So we were very confused. We think we may have even hit like a fire block, the one that goes horizontal in between the frame. Maybe we just got lucky. I wasn't going to be just drilling random holes into the customer's stucco. So we did what we could. We drilled 2 small holes thinking they were there. We patched those with some silicone. You're never going to see them, but yeah, it was definitely a sigh of relief once that thing got hung up on the wall, as you guys saw. It was a beast, and that thing has been here for probably 6 months, because as you saw, the customer was still right in the middle of working on their front yard. The whole house has been remodeled. Front yard is the last thing that they're doing. So hopefully none of the contractors damaged that. But back to this, you could see we're getting closer on it. Just feathering. I like this lighter color a little bit too that I just made. So that's why you see me, I'm going back over some of these sections again, because it kind of adds a little light touch to it that it was definitely missing. Okay, now we have to do that repair on the top. So a lot larger. So I'm probably going to start a little bit on the lighter side, like we always do. I said, we think this came in from the factory like this, because they told me it had never been refinished, and then we found this underneath once we stripped it. And it's not your typical epoxy or Bondo. It is definitely, it's very, very hard. It's a hard material. It's a good starting color. I like that. I can see right here, right along this edge, I'm going to have to go a little bit with a dark color. You can see just a little bit of damage that we have to kind of hide and cover up. It looks like it'll be a little bit darker of a color. So let me just switch up this guy, and then we'll go with more of a brown. So let's see if that's a good color. And just do it kind of dry. And so just hit right on that corner. So a lot of times that's what it is that mitered edge, the veneer does stop. So if we've rounded the edge, if it's gotten rounded over time, just that little bit of removing of the veneer, you'll get that little light section. It's like, it was not a bad thing. I just don't like to see that. So we're gonna just add a little touch of color right here. So while I'm here, kind of check the sides. But I think this piece was in pretty good shape. The opposing side I know has 2 little spots that were really like small repairs. I know right here I need to make it a little bit, there we go, a little bit of a dark grain. Add a little bit of grain there. Kind of work my way down, just add a little touch of brown to that edge. Do the same thing here. There we go. Beautiful, I like that. Get my little toner and seal that in. Let that sit for just a second, and we'll come back. Okay, yeah, that front looks really good now. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna flip it around. So as that dries, I can flip it around and check this opposing side. So it's a really difficult piece too, because it's large. This thing's probably, it's probably pushing 7 feet. So it's really gotta watch yourself in here. Yeah, right there, there's those 2 little touch-ups. I'll do the same thing here, just right on that edge. I'll add a little bit of color, a little pigment. Come back. Kind of come in kind of dry. You don't want this too wet. Just carefully go around the edge. You see I'm dabbing it. That makes it a lot easier. And it's what the kids do these days, right? They start dabbing. So we do a lot of dabbing here in the shop. If you did brush strokes, you could cause a line and you would actually see it possibly on this lower section. So when you're going across the grain, definitely stay away from doing that. But I see right here, like I said, here's these other ones. So if I add just a few little brown spots to it, the color was already there, it just was missing a little bit of grain structure. So by the time now we blend this in, we seal it in, touch it up, those 2 little spots that he thinks somebody hit it with a hammer, they looked like the same teeth from a hammer on the claw side. So we think something happened during construction, and we fixed it. It's done, it's gone. I think all we have to do is go back, flip it over to look at the other side, and get that final kind of grain color put back in. And then we'll get this back in the spray booth. Perfect, we're at the last drawer, but we ran out of time. We didn't get to the doors. I'll do those in the morning, come back and sand sealer on everything and get the finals on. So that way Friday, we get it back to the customer in the afternoon. If you've enjoyed this video today, if you want to really repay me and help me out, my fingertips are still sore. I know Ivan's are too from sanding that carved panel for God knows how many days. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. That'll really help us out, grow this channel, and then teach the world how to restore furniture. We'll see you guys tomorrow.